Man, that's amazing. So literally a decade ago, you moved from Smirnoff Ice
to the best red wine in Bordeaux.
The best fucking wine in the world, yeah.
I didn't start drinking wine until I was about 30. Couldn't even stand the taste of it. Before that, I used to drink Smirnoff Ice.
Oh my god!
I mean, and we're talking
real and raw with Matt Haycox.
We're talking one exchange to the other. I'll tell you what happened. I mean, I literally just never liked the taste of wine. As a kid, my dad, it was one of those things where my dad was like, "Oh, try this," and he used to always drink wine. Now, I guess I'll sound like a wine snob now and say, like, in hindsight, he never drank the kind of wine that I like to drink now. But he'd always have a bottle of wine, with dinner or around the house. And I'd been offered it to try so many times, I never really enjoyed it. So all through my 20s, like I say, if I was going out to a nightclub or something, I'd have a vodka orange, or normally like a what's that drink called? Or a White Russian, vodka Kahlua and Baileys, or proper Del Boy girly drinks. Yeah. And then when I was about 30, I was out one night in Manchester. I was out with Harley's mom. We'd gone for dinner in this great Manchester restaurant called Wings, and she was sat at the bar. She doesn't drink wine either. And when we were ordering a drink before dinner, she said, "Oh, I think I'll have a glass of Merlot." I remember looking at her, you don't even know what Merlot is. Like, how are these words coming out of your mouth? Anyway, she orders a glass of Merlot. I ordered whatever I ordered, and I said, "Oh," she goes, "Oh, I like this. You should try it." So I tried a little bit of it, and it was nice enough. So we sat down to dinner, and she goes, "Oh, should we get a bottle of wine?" So I didn't have a clue what I was ordering, but we got a wine list. And this restaurant in Manchester, although it's Chinese, it's quite well known for having a decent wine cellar. The guy who owns it's a bit of a wine fanatic. And I looked at the wine list, and we bought a bottle. Let's just say, for argument's sake, this bottle was £100. Didn't know what I was drinking, but we quite liked it. Anyway, we finished that. She goes, "Oh, should we get another bottle?" So we've moved on to another bottle. Let's say this bottle was like £200. So we've drunk that. And then we finished that. She goes, "Should we get one more?" I'm like, are you kidding me? So anyway, I called Wing over, Mr. Wingy's called from this Chinese restaurant, and that's true. And I said, "Listen," I know nothing about wine. I said, "But when you drink 100, how do you know like the difference between 100 and 200 and 600 pounds? Like, what are all these different bottles?" He's like, "The £100 bottle that touched the senses of your tongue, yeah?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like the £200. That's like involving your ears as well. He goes, "But by the time you get to this bottle, that uses 7 of your 6 senses." I'm like, "Fucking bring it to the table now, bro." This guy knows how to sell. Oh. So we drank that bottle as well.
Talk about emotional selling.
So like I said, I had no idea what we were drinking, but I just knew I was really enjoying what we were drinking. And I guess it's like, whether it's serendipitous or whatever, but literally the next day, it was Sunday, and I'm reading the Sunday Times, and they always have in the money supplement, the back page is always something called like "How I Made It" or something like that, and it's always a full page article with an interesting person, a business owner, a celebrity, whatever it may be about them and money. And it was an interview with this guy called Stephen Williams, who owned a business called the Antique Wine Company. And basically it was explaining that Stephen was owned a wine business that sold wine for investment and drinking purposes. Now, I didn't even really know what this was, but I thought, "Oh, that sounds interesting." And after last night, I now know I like wine. And I'd actually invested a lot in art up to that point, but I'd fallen out with my art dealer, and I wasn't buying any more art. So I thought, I'm going to email this Stephen. So I've emailed Stephen. I said, "Hi," I said, "just read about you in the Sunday Times this morning. Great article." I said, "I used to invest in art, but now I invest in wine. Now I'm be interested to invest in wine, but I don't know anything about it. So I said, maybe if you want to train me up, you can get some of my money." So he just emails me back saying, "Oh, thanks for the message. Here's our price list of everything we've got at the moment." So I replied to him saying, "As I said, I don't know anything I'm talking about. So if you want me to come and buy some stuff, you're gonna have to teach me." And he says, "No problem." He goes, "We do a lot of tastings at our facility in London. Why don't you come down?" I went down literally about 2 weeks later to their tasting of a wine called Chateau Ponte Canet. Now, for anyone listening or watching this who knows wine, I mean, when I say it's about as good as it gets, so it's probably, it's not what they call a first growth wine. I'm going to say it was like a second, but one that arguably could be first. But, unbelievable wine. And this was the first wine tasting I'd gone to. I didn't even particularly know. So I rock up to this great wine tasting facility in the centre of London. It's like a school laboratory underground, but done really fancy. So you've got all these benches that you sit on, and someone presents at the front while you all try your wine. So we've sat down, and I've gone there with Harley's mum, and there's like 12 wine glasses in front of you. Obviously, these glasses have all got a little bit of wine in each one. And then someone is at the front and present. And the person presenting was a guy called Alfred Tesseron, who was the owner of Chateau Ponticane. So this guy, French-speaking guy, reasonable English, he's come over to present to us all, obviously to present and flog to us. But they were doing what they call a vertical tasting. So the vertical is like the same wine of every vintage. So we were drinking something like, I forget, from 2000 to say 2010 or 12 or whatever this story dates back to. So we're trying a bit of wine for each year. And they make a cognac there as well. So we're trying the cognac. Anyway, I'm sat on a table with 6 or 7 other people who I don't know, and there's all these other tables. And in the middle of the table is what I now know is called a spittoon, where so everyone drinks the wine, tastes it and spits it into this spittoon. I don't know what it is, so I'm there sipping the wine, drinking the wine.
Oh, fuck.
And they'll be coming around. I'll be saying, oh, any wine you like? I'm like, yeah, I like that number 3. Topping me up with some number 3. I'm drinking some more. And the person next to me, I said to her, I'm asking for more wine here, and you guys are all spitting it in this thing in the middle. What's going on? And obviously this like posh old London lady looked at this northern Neanderthal like a piece of shit, and she looks at me, she goes, yes, we all know how much further we've got to go through tonight. I'm like, all right, love. So they're all making the notes, and it's like, scents of vanilla with the aroma of chocolate paste or whatever. And I'm like, didn't really like number 2. Number 3 is better than number 1.
Classy.
These are all my notes at the end. And then at the end, you get to fill an order form in of anything you want to buy. So I'll have 10 cases of one, I'll have 6 cases of this. It's now like 11 o'clock at night.
And you're fucking wasted.
I'm completely levered. I'm ordering all this wine, ordering this cognac. Everyone else has gone home at this point. Now Alfred Tesser on the owner of the chateaus, like sat on my school bench with me. I've got my arm around him trying to drink out of the spittoon. And anyway, gone home. And the next morning I got a phone call, and it was one of these sales ladies from this wine company. And she was going, Matt, it was great to meet you last night. Just calling to confirm your order. And we've got another tasting next week. Would you like to come down? I said, I'm surprised I'm invited to anything else. I said, I can't imagine after what I saw last night that I'm your usual customer. And she goes, oh, we like our customers to come in all shapes and sizes. I'm like, is that your polite way of saying you're a twat, but you just spent $5,000 on Ponticane, so we'll get you down again next week. And that's how my wine drinking journey started, to be honest.
Man, that's amazing. So literally a decade ago, you moved from Smirnoff Ice
to the best red wine in Bordeaux.
The best fucking wine in the world, yeah.